So another component of our ecosystem is data access, and as I said earlier, we were fortunate that we used the Race to the Top funding to build a data warehouse. And this slide just shows you a sample of some of the reports that we have. We have over 100 different reports. Instead of purchasing a software from a vendor, we actually hired developers to develop it. And I think one of the differentiating factors of our data warehouse is how user-centric it is. I'm sorry, my throat's getting chopped up. While we initially built some reports that were student-centered, the other reports were really developed by collaborating with our users, because all staff in our district have access to the data warehouse based on, their security roles. And as different questions would come up throughout the district, if they didn't like how the data was reported, then we would meet as a team with the programmers and say, here's the question we're trying to answer, here's how we would like it to be displayed. And we really call them the Wizard of Oz, because I don't know how they do it, but they work their magic in the background, and they would create the report, to answer the question that we were asking. And then, of course, when we worked with Dr. Balfont with our early warning system, then they would just add that to certain reports. Now, this report that you see on the screen is each school gets a dashboard, and this dashboard is a high-level, overview. And one of the things on here, I know it's really small, but we're going to zoom in here in a minute, but right here are our at-risk indicators. Close to this arrow right there. And if you remember, and I'll go ahead and zoom in. If you remember, I said that we worked with Dr. Balfont, and here at MNPS, 3 indicators were identified. The one indicator is around discipline. So if a student in kindergarten through 4th grade has 2 or more in-school suspensions or out-of-school suspensions, or for our students 5th grade through high school, 12th grade, if they have more than 5 out-of-school suspensions, then that would trigger the discipline flag. We also have a flag for attendance. For our K through 4, if their attendance falls below 90%, then it would trigger an at-risk flag. And then for our middle school through high school students, if their attendance fell below 85%, it would trigger an at-risk flag. Now, in our middle and high schools, we also have a 3rd flag, which is 1 failing grade. In elementary school, we didn't. That didn't seem to be a big indicator in elementary school. And here you can see it says at-risk flags, how many, and then the number, and then that's a hyperlink. So our schools can click on that number 15 and actually get a list of the students with 1 flag and then 2 flag and then a 3 flag. And the other report that you're seeing is we created virtual data wall cards for every student in our district. So if you click on the 15 and you notice student Garafias is at risk, well, then you can go to their virtual data wall card and see exactly what the at-risk indicator is. Again, we work with programmers. We call them the Wizard of Oz because we're very fortunate to have them generate these reports. But again, having the technology in place, we also have to build people's capacity around the data literacy and analysis. And for this part of the ecosystem, and I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Dr. Jenny Rankin in March of 2013, where she shared with me some work that she was doing around over-the-counter data standards. And one of the key standards that we adopted here in MNPS is around supplemental documentation. And you'll see a sample data guide there on the screen. And the data guides are embedded within our data warehouse. So when you generate a report, if there's a data guide, you can click on that data guide, and it will tell you some questions that report answers, the focus, if there's a warning around that, so that we can minimize misinterpretations of the data, and then just kind of gives an overview of all the acronyms. You know, in education, we like to use acronyms, so I always try to address all the acronyms. We also, this spring, developed a collaborative inquiry toolkit. We did a pilot, which Haynes Middle was one of our pilot schools, but they wanted to be called a community of practice around collaborative inquiry, and one of their requests was that we build a toolkit to help provide that just-in-time you know, professional development as they were working with their teams, because we do have common planning teams, or planning time throughout the district. This collaborative inquiry toolkit is built upon the innovation configuration map, which Dr. Stephanie Wilkerson will be talking about here in just a few moments, a little more detail about. But I wanted to mention this toolkit because you are welcome to go to our Collaboration Corner blog, and if you'd like to get updates about the work that we're doing here throughout the district, you're more than welcome to subscribe to that.